What is up guys, and welcome back to SP Vids. In this video I want to show you a little trick with the pattern sequencer, which if you come from the resample world, I think this is going to be a real game changer for you guys jumping onto the pattern sequencer. And if you use the pattern sequencer a lot anyway, you might not know about this little tip, so I want to share it with you guys and hopefully it teaches you something new. So let's just dive straight in with this one. On the SP here I've got 4 hi-hats and they're all sampled at different velocities, and the way I've done that is just copied and pasted and then used the start and end button to change the velocities. So I've got an effect that sounds a bit like this, kind of like making it sound how it does on an MPC when you're using an MPC and you use the 16 levels. So this is going to give me a bit more variety and a bit more dynamic when I'm making a beat. So let's go ahead and resample these hi-hats so that we can get a nice loop that we can use over our drums, and then we'll take it from there. So what I'm going to do is record resample, and these are all mono, these hi-hats, so there's going to be no problem with polyphony. And I'm going to go on pad 5 and let's give this a blast. Okay, so I like that, but I'm probably just going to use the first half of the loop because it sounds a bit tighter and it sounds a bit better. So let's go ahead and use mark to make sure that this is a nice loop. So mark and mark again. Okay, so that's slightly off. Okay, so we've got that loop now, let's have a listen to that. Okay, cool, so now what I want to do is find the tempo of that hi-hat loop. And to do that I'm going to use tap tempo, so I'm going to play that loop and I'm going to use tap tempo to find the exact or near enough exact tempo of that loop. Okay, so there we go. We've got the tempo tapped in to the SP, and now we can go onto the pattern mode and do what we need to do there. Okay, so let's hop into pattern mode, and I'm going to use A1 for this example. So press record and press 1, and straight away you can hear that tempo, which is exactly what we bumped in with the tap tempo button on the SP. So it's ready to go in that tempo, and all I'm going to do is hit record, and this is 2 bars, and I'm just going to hold pad 5, which has got the hi-hat loop on it. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, that's done, so let's listen back and see what that sounds like. And that's actually sounding like it's looping very, very smoothly and in time. So it's got that slight loose human feel to it, but it's also on the grid in a pattern sequencer. So we've got the joy of the resampled kind of looser feel, but it's on the pattern sequence, and we can start layering stuff over the top of it, and we can delete little bits as well. Granted, we can't delete anything to do with that hi-hat loop, but other bits that we might lay over at the top and get slightly wrong, we can just delete those out if we need to. So this is a really, really nice workflow. It kind of incorporates resample, but it's also on the pattern as well, so you get the best of both worlds. So let's just say that I want to layer some more drums over the top of that now. Let's have a look at doing that. So hit record again. I'm hoping there's some drums where I usually have them. Okay, so those hi-hats are possibly a bit loud, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump out of the pattern sequencer and just change the level of them. So head out of that, and we'll use the start and level. And we've brought those down a bit, back into pattern select. Okay, and there we go. We've layered some hi-hats in a kind of resampled way, but we've got them on the grid in the loop, and to be honest, it doesn't need to stop there either. You can actually do full drum loops with this if you want to. The only problem that you run into with that is that it is a bit more destructive, so if something goes wrong, or you need to change the level of a snare, or you want to redo the snare, you will have to do the whole loop again, but I'll just show you as a demonstration anyway. So let's quickly get out of pattern select, and I'll resample a very quick beat. In fact, I'll just delete that pattern for now. And let's do a drum loop here. And we'll just test that that's looping properly. Okay, it's a bit late, so we'll trim it a little bit. Okay, so that's good. So let's tap the tempo of that again so that it lines up with a sequence. That should be fine. So let's jump back into pattern select and we're going to use A1 again. Okay, so there's a slight gap there by the sounds of it. Might need to do a little bit of tweaking, but hopefully this gives you the idea. I could go back and tighten all this up, but for the sake of this demonstration, I don't think there's really much point. And there we go, we've got a full drum loop that's just been brought in through resample and put into the grid. Now obviously you could go ahead and program all those drums in if you wanted to without quantize, but this is just a little bit quicker. And like I mentioned in the video earlier, those of you that come from the resample world, this might be music to your ears. This may be a lot easier to put stuff into the pattern sequencer and start messing around with other ideas as well. So that's it for this one, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you need drums, head to spvids.com and pick up Lo-Fi Drums Volume 3. That's my brand new pack. Huge thanks to everyone who's picked that up so far. I really do appreciate the support. And on the topic of support, a huge thanks to all my members as well. We've just passed over 20 members now, I think we're on about 22 maybe. So huge thanks to you all, and I'm seeing your little badges in the comments as well and getting to your comments too, so really appreciate that. If you're interested in being a member and supporting me monthly for a very small amount of money, just check the link underneath the video. There's a link there of how you can join and it gives you more information too. So there you go, guys. Have a mess around with the pattern sequencer and this resample method and see what you can come up with. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments below. Keep making beats and I'll be back very soon. Peace!